Radio. This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Oh, you're back. I'm the not-so-friendly neighborhood Grinch. I see you returned to endure another holiday-themed episode of Let's Talk About Pets. Your hosts, Nessie and Echo, will be thrilled to see you, which makes me green with envy or nausea. Oh, actually, I just remembered I am always green. Anywho, this episode I'm learning how to keep my dog Max safe from the holiday cheer of Whoville. Wait, the producer is saying this episode is about holiday pet safety, which is what I said. Okay, ladies, start the show already.
Let's talk about pets, baby. Let's talk about ticks and fleas. All the fun things that we see. Smart tips and tricks guaranteed.
Today's episode is keeping in times with holidays. We're going to talk about holiday pet safety.
Yeah. Holiday hazards is definitely the reason why Sam is not allowed to be home unkennelled anymore. So this is 3 years ago now. It was Christmas time. Someone had just given me 3 dozen macadamia nut cookies and I had to go to work. So I put him up way high out of reach. Like she cannot get to them. But I had a really long shift and I was gone for 17 hours. When I got home, there was a plastic bag ripped up on the kitchen floor. I was like, what did you get into? And I was looking and I couldn't think of what it was. Then I went to look where I had hidden those cookies and I was like, no way. But no, she had actually think maybe the cats kind of conspired with her maybe and knocked them down. I don't know. She is not tall enough to get to where I hid them, but she got them and ate 3 dozen macadamia nut cookies. So I called my best friend Stacy, who's a veterinarian, and I was on the phone with poison control.
Yeah, because you don't know what time she got into the cookies or how long they were in her system.
Nope.
Oh, man. That's a bad day.
Yeah, it was.
I think the biggest holiday story I have is around Christmas. We had a litter of kittens that I was bottle feeding. And they were at the point where they were kind of starting to like move around and be on their own. And there was 6 tiny kittens like climbing this artificial tree. They knocked ornaments off and stuff. That was the last year that we decided to do a tree.
Oh, no.
I was like, well, it's a little bit more trouble than it's worth. So
yeah, jeez. Do you have any holiday emergencies that you remember as a technician, like working?
We've had a cat that ate tinsel, and that is
I've seen tinsel in the litter box before.
to get it removed because, as you know, it can accordion up your intestines, and you have a crisis pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, have got into the Christmas ham, and now we have pancreatitis, those kind of deals.
Years ago, probably 2015, 2016, the 8-year-old Weimar had swallowed an entire pair of pantyhose. The owners had holiday plans. They came home, they changed clothes really quickly. They didn't pick up the clothes from the floor. 4 days later, they brought their dog in and they're like, she's really sick. So we did x-rays and they still decided to wait 2 more days to see if it would pass. And this is like adult size pantyhose. So we did emergency surgery. The pantyhose were throughout pretty much the dog's entire small and large intestines at that point. I mean, you think of how long it is from 1 foot all the way up and then down the other foot, and they're stretchy. So the doctor ended up having to cut the intestines in 4 separate places to get the entire thing out.
That was going to be my question. Were they able to milk it out or, four spots?
She had to pull as much as was safe, cut the pantyhose, sew that back up, move through the intestines, find another. It was a very long surgery.
Will make your holiday turn hectic very quickly.
Yeah, that's a bad Christmas.
Do you want a pickup line?
Yes, I love pickup lines.
Right. You're quite the dog trainer because you just fetched my heart for you.
Oh, that's cute.
No, because your dog just fetched my heart for you. Okay, I get it now. I didn't get it at first. Okay, you trained your dog to fetch, and he fetched the heart and retrieved it for you. That's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it actually better the first way. I thought the first way was cuter.
Like you were the one who was fetching.
Like, oh, what's this thing on the ground? Here you go. Like, nah, you keep it.
No, you keep it. Nah.
I have a fun fact for you.
Okay, give me a fun fact.
Nationwide Insurance put together a list of the top 10 most common pet illnesses that were claimed on pet insurance policies in 2011 from the holidays. I could not find anything more up to date than that, but from experience, I feel like this is pretty spot on.
Okay.
The number one pet illness that was claimed on the pet insurance policies is vomiting. That's no surprise. That comes from ingesting people food, holiday plant, drinking Christmas tree water will do that.
Oh, I didn't even think of the Christmas tree water. Oh, gross.
Oh, yeah. That's some gross stuff.
You have the additives for it, like to keep your tree healthier for longer. So that can't be good. Oh,
no.
gosh.
Number 2 is diarrhea. Number 3 is loose or bloody stool. Number 4 is pancreatitis. I would have thought that pancreatitis would have been higher up there, but I mean, compared to this is symptom diagnosis. So all 3 of those symptoms are part of the diagnosis of pancreatitis often. And 4 of the next 6 are types of foreign bodies. Then one of them is hemorrhagic gastroenteritis, which is one of the all-time worst things to deal with as a veterinary professional. Basically, that is bloody vomiting and bloody diarrhea. The smell will knock you over. Yeah. It's real bad.
I can smell it now that you've mentioned it.
Right? The 10th one is chocolate toxicity. So I thought that was a pretty solid list.
Yeah, I feel like it's very accurate.
Among holiday hazard, one of the most important ones to mention are snow globes.
Snow globe.
Because the snow globes contain ethylene glycol, the same chemical that's in antifreeze, and pets can be drawn to it because it's a really sweet smell, taste. It is fatal. If you have a snow globe and your cat is walking up on the mantle and they knock it down, or you've got kids that are horsing around or anything, just broken snow globes, get your pets out of there immediately and clean it up.
I did not even think of that.
I don't know how common it is, but it is fatal. That's a really important one to know.
I'm trying to shoo my dog out.
I was like, what are you doing?
He was going to do that thing where he starts like backing his butt up to get pet and his nails will tippy tap, and I don't want that at the moment.
There he is. There's Q.
Yeah. How bud?
Yeah, he is my menace. Another holiday hazard is batteries. Batteries can cause internal burns. Batteries from new toys, particularly if toys get left out. Greeting cards are the ones that have like music and stuff.
Little watch batteries.
Remote controls, flameless candles.
You're bringing up a lot of things I haven't thought about.
Yeah.
Now I'm glad that I don't decorate for Christmas these days. It's going to stay up for way longer than it should because I'm like, I'll get to it later. Then it's Valentine's Day and I'm like, well, some of these things are red, so technically it still fits.
It still works, you know. I also don't decorate for Christmas because I live in Florida and it never feels like Christmas here. So I don't put things up. I don't take them down. I'm usually gone for like 7 to 10 days at Christmas time. The cats are still home. I do not want anything that they can get into.
Absolutely not.
Trees and decoration, another very common holiday hazard, but like trees can fall and cats tend to enjoy climbing trees. So falling trees can definitely create injuries.
Have you seen those fail videos with the cats in the trees like knock them over? Sometimes there's like an unsuspecting person there getting hit by the tree, and it's just like this cat. You're like, what? Isn't that what this is for?
And ornaments, right? Those can break and cause injury. If they're small enough that they can be swallowed, they can cause foreign body. We've talked about foreign body a couple of times already, but just in case anybody doesn't know, do you want to talk about what a foreign body is?
Ingestion of something that does not pass once it gets to the intestines is when you have the biggest problem, but it's something that's either too large or too solid and it cannot pass. Yeah. Then it blocks you up.
It's called a foreign body because it's not part of your pet's body, so it's foreign material. Ornaments can cause foreign bodies if they are made from food materials. Like you've seen those salt dough ornaments, those can seem very tasty, and edible technically, but they're not good if swallowed. They don't digest the same as like some regular dough or freshly baked bread or something like that.
One year when I was grooming, I made a bunch of salt dough ornaments. When people were bringing their pets in for their grooms, before their bath and stuff, I would put their little paws in finger paint and put it on the ornaments and write their names on them.
It's so cute. Oh, I love that.
I also was like, don't let them eat it.
This is not a treat. This is for you. Yes. Like you were saying earlier, like tinsel, garland, ribbons can cause linear foreign bodies.
And ribbons are fun, especially for cats.
Ribbons are the worst.
They love to bat at a ribbon.
Q had a linear foreign body because he was playing with a length of yarn. Someone came over to play with the cats while I was gone, and they're like, "Oh, he loves your yarn." And I was like, No. Like, put the yarn away. Don't. And they're like, "Oh, well, I already left. I left him only a small piece." My little cat got a linear foreign body.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, it did pass, and I didn't have to get emergency surgery. But I'm talking like that thing had to be 8 to 10 inches long. It was terrifying. And a linear foreign body, linear just means it's like long-wise, like a piece of ribbon or yarn. And it can get into the intestines, kind of accordion up the intestines so that it can't pass. If you scrunch things up in there.
When you accordion them up, you start to cut off blood flow. And so then pieces of the intestines start to die, and they die pretty quickly. And that's really hard to come back from. Like, they can remove those sections of dead intestine, but
that's not ideal.
No, it's a really tough recovery.
Tree needles, because the oil on the pine needles can irritate their skin or their GI tract if they ingest it. Really, I don't know that it actually matters whether you have a real tree or not, because those needles can be quite sharp and they can puncture the throat or the stomach or the intestines.
We are not saying this because we do not want you to decorate your homes for Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Like, decorate, have a good time. Things that we are so used to around holiday times are new and interesting and make your pet really curious, particularly if you have a young animal. And it's not just dogs or cats. Things can be dangerous for birds that are allowed to fly or walk around the house, for large lizards that are allowed time outside their enclosures. The Christmas tree water we talked about, it's not just the chemical additives, but like even if you add nothing to it, it's just sitting water. Like, it becomes full of bacteria very quickly.
Gross.
Things like candles and oil lamps can be knocked over. They can start fires. Be mindful when you're decorating. Plants.
Oh, God, yeah. Holiday plants.
Everyone thinks about poinsettia. It's not fatal, but it can cause skin and GI irritations. Things that are fatal or have the potential to be fatal, like hollyberry, mistletoe, can cause cardiovascular issues. There's an entire list.
Can we actually discuss mistletoe as weird in the first place? Right? You just put it up in a doorway and some poor unsuspecting person is like stuck under it with you, or you plan to like pop it up over the head and then like, oh, guess now we have to kiss. No, it's weird. Don't do that. Stop it.
You know, I have never been hit by surprise mistletoe, which is really nice. But also, like, I don't go and hang out with people I don't know super well very often. So when I'm in a situation where I don't know people, I know it's a holiday party, I'm aware of the mistletoe, like, I'm on the lookout and I will run.
Yeah. I've seen it in movies too many times where I'm like, no, that was terrible. Don't do that. They just have that in their pocket walking around for like the right moment. No, I don't want to meet.
But I don't like that. The ASPCA. Oh, you know what? It might be American Veterinary Medical Association. One of the alphabets that's in the bibliography. They have an entire list of every plant that is dangerous or toxic to pets, all species of pets. There's over 1,000 plants on that list. I just looked at the first page real quick. It's in alphabetical order. And I was just like, wow. But some of the worst that tend to be associated with holidays. Amaryllis, lilies are very dangerous. Ivy, and then like balsam, pine, and cedar can also have some potentially hazardous effects on pets.
I have plants. I keep them in plant room where the animals do not get to me, because I'm not going to look up every plant to see if it's safe or not. I'm just going to assume none of them are.
That is a very safe assumption.
That's also why we're not big on like receiving flowers. I'm not really going to get to put them out to be seen, because like my cat will get on the counter and want to give him a little nibble. So it's just easier if I take away that whole issue.
I agree. And I cannot keep plants alive. I did try to have a couple succulents a few years ago, but they always chew on them. The cats always chew on anything that's in a pot. So I'll just get you guys catnip in a pot. They hated it. They wouldn't go near it.
I decided for reviews, it would be really fun to dive into some like travel related with pets.
Ooh,
a lot of people are
nice.
going to be traveling for the holidays. This first one is called, I'm not really sure how to say it. I'm just going to spell it for you first and we'll see what we think it is. SIXT.
6th.
I don't know. That's the car rental place name in Orlando Airport. Okay.
Okay.
It is a 1-star review from Ivana Greens.
Ivana Greens.
Reds and greens. For the holidays. And Ivana said, I rented a vehicle from 6th.
It would make more sense if it ended in H, so that it would be 6th.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
Where's the H?
It needs one. Hey, you guys spelled your car company wrong.
That's right.
Friendly reminder from us out here in the world. Anyway, she rented one from Jacksonville to be returned to Orlando. Okay. When she returned the car, the representative checked over the car, said everything was okay. I received a bill a couple days later. They were charging me $250 due to excessive pet hair. I don't own a pet. Come to find out, the pet hair was from the previous owner, and they didn't record it in their notes.
Oh no. 6th, you dropped the ball.
Also, did you not notice the pet hair when you had the car? Like, it sounds like a significant amount.
$200 worth.
I would be like, hey, this car is real hairy. I'd maybe prefer a quick vacuum before I take it out. Especially if it's someone who has pet allergies or something like that, then that's not a good time.
If you don't have pets, you're not used to hair everywhere. But, pet hair is just part of my life. So if you don't own a pet, I imagine that pet hair is not something that you just glance over and don't even see.
And then the person, when they dropped the car off, didn't notice it either. But now all of a sudden you have a... Nah, what is that?
Yeah.
I am sorry. They charge you $250 and you don't have a pet. Ooh. You know what we didn't consider? It's her hair. She could just be like a hairy person. Ivana red and green, right? Let's be honest here, girl. Is it yours?
Is it yours? I mean, I gotta say, my hair is super, super long. So when my hair sheds, 100% that is from a person. It's like 12 foot long. It's very obvious that this is a person hair, not pet hair. But what if Ivana red and green had really, really short hair, like pixie cut, and you really couldn't tell the difference? What if she had really thick hair?
Some husky and golden retriever hair are long, and sometimes you're like, oh, so it could easily become a fine line between a pixie haircut and a golden retriever's long tail hair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Let's talk about food and drink. Pets can't process alcohol like humans can. So even a seemingly insignificant amount of alcohol can actually be lethal to pets. Like those true dude bro guys that are like, I share my beer with my dog and he loves it.
They pour a little out for their homie, and their homie is like the dog on the floor. Stop. Yes, they are drinking it, but they're not supposed to.
It is not good for them. As little as 1 ounce of alcohol has the potential to kill a cat or a small dog. So this is significant. Please don't share your eggnog. Don't share your holiday cocktails.
Does eggnog have alcohol?
Some eggnog is made with alcohol, yeah.
I've never had eggnog.
You've never had eggnog? Oh, I love eggnog. Really, don't share your non-alcoholic eggnog with your pets either, because dairy, that's actually on my list. Milk and dairy can cause GI upset A lot of people tend to think cat needs milk, so they put it in a little saucer. I know that is cute. You see it in cartoons. You see it in cute little Christmas card photos. It's not cute when it turns into diarrhea.
Oh, God, no.
Here's the thing about these ingestible holiday hazards is many of these things we mentioned from the nationwide insurance list, like these are things that cause vomiting and diarrhea. You do not want to be cleaning up vomit and diarrhea all holiday season.
A house full of guests.
Like, just avoid that. That'll make your holiday miserable. Bones. So it might seem natural to give a dog a bone, but bones, particularly poultry bones, it can splinter and lacerate the esophagus or the stomach or the intestines. They can cause blockages. Just avoid it. Anything with caffeine. Caffeine can be deadly.
Caffeine is my favorite.
I love caffeine too. I've already had my coffee today. You're having a monster, I see. But pet hearts, they can't handle it like humans can. It can be very dangerous for them. Chocolate, it's a pretty well-known thing. Pets can't have chocolate. It contains fat, caffeine, theobromine. The darker the chocolate, the more theobromine and the more toxic it is.
This is true. Don't even risk it.
My brother took a trip to Iceland, or Iceland. I guess that's the better Iceland. And he brought back a really big chocolate bar and gave it to me. It had alcohol in it, and I was looking forward to it so much. I set it up high where no animal could get to it, and somehow the animals got to it. And my little dog at the time, Tarly, he ate the whole thing.
Oh, Tarly.
He not only had chocolate, but he also had alcohol. So I rushed him into the clinic where I was working, and he had to throw it all up. We had the pan to catch it to make sure that it was the chocolate.
Right.
Because if he didn't have the chocolate, then I would have had to do it for my other dog. Someone ate it. So he immediately started throwing up chocolate, and the entire treatment room smelled like pine nuts and chocolate. It smelled really sweet. One of the other employees walked in and they were like, "Ooh, who's got what in here?" And I was like, it's Tarly's vomit. And they were just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that." Another problem to watch for is xylitol, right? That's a sugar-free substitute. It's found in a lot of sugar-free gum and sugar-free candy, some baked goods, some sugar-free peanut butter, toothpaste as well.
Ooh, nice.
Watch, not just to make sure your pets don't get into candy and food and stuff, but also be aware of what foods have ingredients like xylitol. So if you have someone who's diabetic, someone who is on a diet, someone who can't have sugar, they're needing the sugar-free stuff. If your pet eats a sugar cookie, that's not necessarily going to be a big deal. But if your pet eats a sugar cookie that has xylitol in it, that's really bad.
I'm pre-diabetic and stuff, so I keep a lot of sugar-free stuff. And it makes me like a panicked mess to make sure I keep everything up and out of their reach. I don't look to see which things have xylitol in them. I just assume everything sugar-free has something they can't have in it.
That's a really good rule of thumb. During the holidays, you have foods that are much richer than your standard high-fat foods.
Your guests are coming over, and they have little kids, and they like sneak the food, and it's fun to feed the dogs, and they don't mean anything by it.
Yeah.
I would have treats as an option so that they can still take part and feed the dogs, but keep the table scraps for the people.
A lot of foods are made with ingredients that are toxic to pets. That can potentially lead to a pretty severe episode of pancreatitis, like garlic and onions that can cause blood cell damage. Grapes and raisins can cause kidney failure. Macadamia nuts can cause neurological symptoms or seizures, even death. One new thing that I learned in doing the research for this that I've never heard of before is unbaked yeast dough.
Oh, yeah.
You sound like you knew about that already, but I had never encountered it before. So if you're like me and you don't know, yeast dough can continue to rise in a pet's stomach or in their intestines. So that can cause a blockage, organ rupture. It can cause respiratory failure if it's putting pressure on the lung. I was really glad that I looked into that because I love me some yeasty dough.
Keep it out of the way and you're good.
Yes. Avocado is particularly dangerous for exotic pets and ruminants. Ruminants, if you aren't familiar with our animal, like your goats, your sheep,
The ones that chew their food up and then cut the back up.
That's what it is. They chew cud that's been regurgitated. So your cows, your sheep, deer even. It causes cardiovascular damage and death in birds and rabbits. It's not really food, but human medications, particularly when you have a family that's traveling in town and maybe you don't know what their medications are, or if you're traveling and you have to bring your own medication. There are many human medications that are detrimental to animal health. Now that I'm over 30, I keep that like massive bottle of ibuprofen in the cabinet, like 500
I have that as well.
Ridiculous. Yep. Something as simple as ibuprofen. It's a great anti-inflammatory for people, not safe at all for your dog or your cat. That can kill them. I mean, I wouldn't ask your guests, what medications are you on?
You're coming to stay at my house, but I have this little questionnaire I need you to fill out. List all your medications and keep them on lock and key.
Yep.
They're like not going to stay at your house anymore. Ooh, that is helpful if you don't want them to stay at your house anymore.
There you go.
Quick holiday tip. If you don't want your relatives to come, have an elaborate sheet they have to fill out listing all their medications and stuff.
And be real nosy.
This is a good time for training to be involved. That leave it cue is very important to teach your dog for this reason.
Extremely.
Do you have tips for how you can teach the leave it cue?
I would start with something that is interesting, but not going to make them go crazy. Not like food or anything, but like a toy. And the owners had the dog on the leash, throw it behind me. They would show interest. Then the owner would say, leave it out loud, put a treat in front of their nose. And then when the dog focused on the treat rather than the toy, they could have the treat. So we did that a few times. So they were learning that leave it comes with a reward. They might look at the toy, but they knew, oh, this term means I get a treat. So they would look at their owner instead. Then we started putting it in motion. So the dog would be walking by and I drop the toy in their path. By this point, the toy is no longer interesting. So we've got the cue down in a very basic sense. So that's when we move to something that's more interesting. Maybe a Dorito. Something small that won't hurt them. And we would start over.
I would want the Dorito.
Right. I mean, I want the Dorito. Then we'd put it in motion like on a walk. And eventually we would get to a very high value reward and no leash, where the owner could drop something and the dog would look to the owner first and then they would get the reward.
This is a review for the Red Roof Inn in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
The dog-friendly location. By the way, I got a lot of these from Bring Fido. It's a website for like travel and stuff. So you know if your dogs are allowed and you see people's reviews that have brought their dogs so you can decide if the dog-friendly place for you. They have a bone system, for their rating instead of a star.
Oh, that's cute.
So this is a 2-bone review from a letter. So let's pick. Does A sound like a good letter today?
Hey, it's Christmas time. Just never mind me.
I love Christmas time. A did not necessarily love this place though.
Oh, 1 bone?
2 bones.
2 bone. Okay.
It's called Nice Workers.
That's good.
Checking in was fantastic. Very nice and welcoming. She even called later to make sure my room was all right. Dogs were very welcome. The room was sort of clean. There was an old cracker on the floor that Fido found and ate, and dirt in the corners.
Ew.
The garbage truck came at 11:30 and was noisy. There was lots of activity outside the room until about 10 p.m. It was good for a short stop, but I'm tired today.
I want to say, at the beginning, did it say a human called the room to check in?
Was it the woman called his room?
I thought it said a human called, and I was like, I hope so.
With the dog call? Yeah. I like that he was happy about like the check-in process, and the dog must have been really excited because when he got in the room, he like found a floor cracker.
That's disgusting. That is so nasty.
I'm not eating a floor cracker, but like Fido was happy about it. And then the fact that it was the garbage truck came at 11:30, and so he's real tired. What? Like, is that the reason he's real tired? He didn't sleep much?
A garbage truck is noisy. Like that.
What a weird time to come
11:30 in the morning?
at night.
Oh, that is weird.
It says PM on here.
That is strange. I did not think that most garbage companies would work that late.
If it feels suspicious, I'd check and make sure they're legit. It came with this really nice lady that called to check in on him. Like, hey, just want to make sure you got home safely. And that feels nice of them.
Yeah, that is nice.
But if your only complaint is honestly the dirt in the corners of the room and the noise until
And the
10
garbage truck.
at 11:30, I feel like you made out pretty good there. 2 bones isn't warranted.
Yeah, I would agree. I would be very unhappy if there was food on a floor because they're supposed to clean in between patrons. If there was
Right.
food on the floor and my dog found it, I would be like, nope, 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 nope. This room isn't clean. Ah,
That's where Leave It comes in handy. But do you know who was not upset about that cracker on the floor?
dog.
I'm just saying, he was like, oh my God, this is the best. I'm going to eat this so fast. You know?
Let's talk about hosting for the holidays or being a house guest
Let's
with your
talk about
pets.
hosting.
Mhm.
Talk about cups and tea.
Great. I love tea.
I got nothing left.
Well, there's always going to be a certain amount of stress when there are changes in the home or when you're in someone else's home. And that's totally true for pets too, to ensure that every pet has an ID tag with appropriate information.
Good
A
point.
microchip is good, but it may not be enough. If you're lazy like me and you just never switched over your pet's information from the rescue to your information on the microchip, that's one thing. Or some people don't have chips. Some people get their pet microchipped, which the person that found them will not go get them scanned. So, I mean, a microchip is good. It just may not be enough. So we want to make sure that the pets all have a collar or a harness with an ID tag, and the pet name is on that ID tag, a phone number. Even better if you can put a secondary phone number. Best of the best is if you can put your veterinarian's phone number on there as well, because if they can't reach you, the veterinarian's phone number is on there. The veterinarian has their medical records. They're going to be able to find other ways to contact you. For my own pets, I always put which of my pets needs medications, because if someone finds Sam wandering around and they're like, gosh, she's such a nice dog, they need to know, like, she has medications, like she needs to come home.
Mhm. Your ID tag must be so long, or the writing on it must be so little.
Oh, show you. So here's Chetney. It says Chetney Pocket P needs meds.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
And then on the other, it is little, but there are 4 phone numbers. Listen, no one's going to want to keep Chetney if they find him, but
He's sweet.
he's not. He's a devil dog.
He's got his moments.
Whether you have pets and there are guests in your house, or if you're taking your pet elsewhere, always allow for a quiet, safe space for each of your pets. Because just like we can, they can get overwhelmed with all of the noise, people, especially if the group that you're with likes to drink and it can get really rowdy. Make sure that each pet has a safe space and they can go be alone. No one's going to bother them. When I travel, they always have their kennels.
It's a good idea, because a lot of places, even if they say they're pet friendly, they recommend a kennel, because you are liable for any damage your dog does to the room.
That's true.
That is not a good time to find out they have separation anxiety.
No, it's not. It's making sure that everyone who's going to be present is aware that you have pets. So people with allergies, they can plan for that. People that have weakened immune systems, if they need to take some special precautions, women that are pregnant, they cannot be around a litter box. Good communication with the people that you're going to be around is important for their safety as well as for your pets. And extra precautions, especially if there are pets that have never met before that might interact. And here's the thing, it's like, not all pets get along, and that's okay. That is fine. I don't get along with every person that I meet.
I get along with most of them.
You do, because you're a delight.
You are also delightful. To say that you don't get along with somebody sounds like a lie, but we'll go with it.
Well,
Spreading false news.
years ago when I was training, one of my favorite students, little Bichon, his name was Frank. And Frank's mom would take him on walks every day. One day she was just like, I'm really worried because I take Frank on these walks and we pass by this one house. There's a boxer that hangs out in the garage. And every time we walk by that house, Frank growls at that boxer. And I keep trying to tell him no and leave it, but he keeps growling. And I was just like, that's not a problem though. He's on a leash. You're not going to let Frank go try and hurt that boxer. And that boxer is, I don't know if he was like on a tie or if he had an electric fence or something, I don't know. But the boxer never came out of the garage from what she told me. So I'm like, they're not going to interact. And it's okay. We can't expect Frank to get along with every dog that he sees. He doesn't have to be friends with every dog that comes across his path. Like, you can have a friendly dog, but that doesn't mean your dog is going to or needs to get along and be buddies with every other pet out there. And that's fine. Always supervise. Never allow pets that don't live together, that don't really know each other, that interact without someone trustworthy there to watch. I go to my brother and sister-in-law's house every Christmas. I bring my dog and my parents bring their dog. And they have lived together before. Like, they get along great. But it's okay for Sam to be in the kennel and Odie to be out for a little while. And then it's okay for Odie to go in the kennel and Sam can have some time. It's okay for both of them to be in the kennel. It's okay to keep the pets separated for a little while. But they don't need to be in the middle of everything all the time. We want our pets to be part of our lives. But
it could be overwhelming for them.
And you can always ask your primary veterinarian about anti-anxiety or sedative medications for pets to try and reduce the stress of traveling or having people in their home. That's mostly for dogs and cats. If you have exotic pets, monitor them or hide them away because their behavior could be far less predictable. Consider any phobias of your guests. Like, I have 20 birds, and there are people that are terrified of birds.
All chickens, right?
Yeah, they're all poultry. One of the technicians I work with, I think she has 4 or 5 tarantulas. No. I love them. You're saying no thanks. I love spiders. I think they're very cool. Like you would probably not be very comfortable staying in a house where they just had their tarantulas out.
If the tarantulas are out, absolutely not. But if they are in their enclosures, like, I don't mind that, I don't guess. But if it's like that Home Alone situation where the tarantula was just wandering around the house, absolutely not.
Yeah. And do a constant pet count. Watch the entry and exit doors to prevent accidentally running outside. Clear off food from surfaces. And take the trash out. Be aware that loud noises can be frightening. That can cause pets to try and run away or lash out if they're feeling trapped.
Ooh, you guys want to do a commercial? We're going to have a little input from our sponsors or not sponsors or whatever they put here on our brochure. And then we'll be back and see you soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Gifts for my pets, sparkle and love, under the tree, from heaven above. Gifts for my pets, joy in the air, unwrapping dreams, without a care.
Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and is conveniently located on the cat tree. Go to cattreetray.com. Bring home a luxury French Bulldog from the world-famous Tom King's Kennel. Premium French Bulldogs from excellent European bloodlines. Superior puppy care and lifetime health guarantee for your perfect companion. Use code TomKingsMagic for a magical holiday discount. Visit TomKingsKennel.com and find your perfect Frenchie today. Your pets will be over the moon with sparkly jewelry from Over the Moon Jewelry. Beautiful handcrafted matching jewelry for you and your pet. Wire-wrapped, beaded contemporary necklaces, bracelets, and charms. Go to overthemoonjewelry.com.
Gifts for my pets, joy in the air, unwrapping dreams, without a care.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And that's why on the first day of Christmas, they gave the partridge in a pear tree.
That makes so much sense. I wish I had known that as a child because it does not make sense. Like, I have a pear tree in my backyard and I love when I get to pick pears in the fall. But like, I have never seen a partridge. I've never seen a partridge in my pear tree.
I never saw a pear tree, so there's that.
Oh, really? You saw partridges, but no pear tree. So you saw partridges in a bear tree?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
In case any of you were wondering, you missed out on a whole explanation on the history of that. So sorry for you. You shouldn't have left. I'm just kidding. You had to. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Let's talk about traveling with pets. So you travel with pets. I also travel with mine. Always keep your pet's rabies vaccination records available when you're traveling, particularly if you're crossing state lines. My family is originally from New York. So from Michigan to New York, it was a shorter distance just to head through Canada rather than down through Ohio. And so we had to keep these records with us. But some transportation like air travel or even train travel will require a pet to have a health certificate from the veterinarian. If you're going to be traveling, know what the laws are where you're going, or even just traveling through, the rules can change along the way.
If you do need a health certificate, it is on you to learn what is required for your health certificate, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You and I live in a high military area. And so there's a lot of people moving to and leaving and going to different places, not just around the States, but around the world. Like, I promise you, most veterinarians are not going to know if you're traveling to France, what vaccinations you're going to need in order to enter France. Like, that needs to be researched before you walk in so that you can say, I'm traveling to this place. They require these vaccines. I need this certification to travel by this means. I need all of these things. Can you do that?
Leave yourself enough time as well. Because like for Hawaii, for instance, we just had family that was moving there and they required rabies titer tests.
If you are traveling in a vehicle, they need safety restraints. So a kennel is a great way to do it. If you're kenneling cats, make sure that it's big enough for a litter box. Dogs can be buckled in with a seatbelt attachment. You want to make sure that the animals are always kept clear of airbags, clear of any possible falling luggage. Don't keep them in the trunk. Do not keep them in the bed of a truck. But I've seen it before.
I've seen dogs that are kept in the truck bed. You may trust your dog to not jump out, but one time it may see that squirrel and decide it's going for it, or you stop abruptly and
they smash into your window. If you keep them in a kennel on the bed of the truck, kennels can slide. If you're traveling for the holidays, if it's cold, like your dog can get very, very cold, even if they're in a kennel.
Sounds like a miserable car ride.
So consider the specific needs of your pets while traveling. Food, water, stops to go to the bathroom, and lack of exercise when traveling long distances makes really high energy dogs very bored. They can become very unruly, very destructive, very anxious. You might end up seeing a lot of behaviors that you're just like, what is my dog doing? They've never been this way before. So traveling plus can do that.
Our long road trip, the doctor prescribed us with trazodone to keep the wild girl Xena calm for the car ride. We knew that it was going to be a lot for her. She's already a high anxiety type dog with a lot of energy. So we had to like mellow that out.
Well, things that can help on long drives, frequent walks. Anytime that you stop, you let them walk around a little bit, and it will make your trip longer. But it's not just physical exercise, but mental exercise too. You give them mentally stimulating toys like a Kong wobbler. You put some treats in there and they can smack it around in the back seat. Those are some simple ways to try and keep your pets happy on long car rides. If you're flying, cats specifically, and brachycephalic dogs, brachycephalic is flat face. They don't tend to do well with air travel. So keep that in mind. That is not as safe for cats and short-nosed dogs.
Heard those stories too.
If you're boarding your pet, talk to your veterinarian about ways to protect your pet, like vaccines against airborne illnesses that have the ability to spread quickly in kennel facilities. A lot of boarding facilities have requirements for that kind of stuff anyway. So make sure you're asking those questions so that you can have that done before you drop them off. If the boarding facility, like if they're not part of a veterinary clinic, if they don't have the ability to give those vaccines, they may not let you check in.
Some of them require a few days in between getting the vaccine and boarding.
Right. I didn't think about that, but yeah. Yes.
So you got to give those vaccines a chance to do their thing before they go and get stressed out.
You've worked at a boarding facility before, right? I have two. So I put a little list together about what to ask the facility. Like, start with a tour.
Absolutely.
Ask them if you can look around.
If they do not let you do a tour, I wouldn't.
Don't do it. Yeah.
No.
You want to make sure it's clean. You want to make sure it's safe. Ask if your pet will be able to have their bed or their blanket with them. Ask if they're going to be allowed to have safe toys. You know, the first boarding facility that I worked for when I was a teenager would not allow beds, blankets, or toys in there at all. I asked about that, and the manager told me it's because we didn't have overnight staff. So when there was not supervision, which was most of the time, if the pets got bored and they started chewing, or they didn't want a foreign body or items destroyed. As an adult, being in this field for so long, I don't feel like that is a good answer.
There are those really nice, like, cot type beds that are easily cleaned that still give them a little bit of elevation and comfort.
Yes.
And they're not, like, destructible.
Another good question to ask is, can they medicate your pet, and who will be doing the medications? We were giving the medications. We, teenagers with zero experience with animals other than our own house pets. And as an adult, I think that is wild. Like, that, it blows my mind that we were allowed to do that. I was giving insulin injections, sub-Q fluids. I was putting medicines, just dropping them in a food bowl and giving the food bowl, expecting the pet to eat it. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was 15. I look back at that and I'm like, who let me do that? That's wild. If you can have someone who is licensed, but short of that, someone who is well experienced and aware of the different ways to make sure pets get medication. My first facility, if a medication was left in a bowl, it would just sit there, which is problematic. You know, with many medications, how much exercise will your pet be able to get? How much interaction your pet's going to have with people? Are the people working for the whole day for the holiday, or is it just someone popping by once or twice to feed and potty the animals? Ask all those questions about the facility that you're planning to use so that you can be fully comfortable with where you're dropping your pets off.
Okay, let's do our review. This is for the Grand Hyatt in Tampa Bay. I guess that's Florida?
Yeah.
All right, girl. This one's going to take you some weird places. It is a 3-bone review from Marsha.
I don't know a whole lot about the Brady Bunch. I don't have any witty quips.
I don't know either. It's just an M name, so that's the one I went with. This review is called Watch Out for the Poop.
Oh, no.
Marsha said, we stayed in the casitas room, which are the only pet-friendly rooms. The room is cute, but it had a lot of cons. The room was clean, but the bathroom had worms.
What?
That was gross. Actually, that was gross-a. She spelled gross with an E at the end.
That's French? Grosse.
Yes, that's gross. So watch your step. The blinds don't shut all the way, so the sun isn't blocked out in the morning. And don't walk your dogs without a flashlight. The grassy area right outside your room is full of poop. I mean, every 2 steps when you walk. I've stepped in it at night without the flashlight. Also, there's a lot of mosquitoes. The pet fee was $112, and the food and water bowls were full of ants in the room.
Oh, no.
There's worms in the bathroom. First of all, what?
Yeah. Are we talking about like earthworms, whipworms, tapeworms, roundworms? What are we talking about here? Gummy worms.
Ooh. Now, if there are gummy worms in a bathroom, first of all, I'm probably not going to eat them.
No.
But I'm going to be like, ooh, maybe now I want to go purchase my own.
Right.
Right?
Right. I love gummies.
I'm concerned by the worms in the bathroom that are gross.
Mm-hmm.
And the blinds that don't shut all the way. Like, I'm imagining there's like this much window at the bottom that just doesn't have blinds covering it.
Your pet wants to see outside. That's the perk
so
of
that
the room.
your dogs don't. That makes sense to me. The poop every 2 steps. Like, she stepped in it because she walked her dog without a flashlight.
I mean, bring a flashlight. But I do feel like if you are a pet-friendly facility, there should be some level of poop cleanup as somebody's job.
As a pet owner, you should be cleaning up your own pet stuff. But we all know it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen always.
There should be a groundskeeper that does a little walkabout.
Yeah.
There are people that you can pay to pick up your yard due.
Yep. That's true. I've seen the truck locally and I'm like, hey, that's a great service. Now, I personally have dung beetles in my yard, so I don't ever have to pick up poo because it's not there.
Nice.
I was really excited.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. The ants in the food and water bowl, like that's bad.
Inside, but yeah.
That's inside
This
the
place
room.
sounds like it has a lot of bugs. I bring my old pets bowls.
I do too. I don't want to use communal bowls.
There's too many transmissible
bacteria.
diseases through pet saliva and things like that. I would not use a communal bowl. I appreciate that they're available
Yes.
to your pet-friendly room. That's very thoughtful of you. I won't be using them.
This was a Hyatt?
Grand Hyatt. Yeah.
Huh.
I think I would be mad if the bowls weren't available. And I'd be like, how thoughtless of you. Also, I'm not going to use them anyway. I'm just being difficult.
I want the thing that I'm not going to use. Where is it?
Yes, that. It's totally practical, I think.
That would definitely discourage me from staying there. So be prepared. Have your veterinarian's phone number handy. Know the information for your local 24-hour emergency veterinarian. Not just if you're hosting, but if you're traveling, know what it is where you are. I don't expect problems, but if they happen, I don't want to be panicking and scrambling to find the information. For anyone who's listening and you just want to write it down, ASPCA Poison Control Center phone number is 1-888-246-4435. There's also a pet poison helpline, 1-855-764-7661. Those are both very good numbers just to have in your phone, in your bag, with your pet's records, just in case, on the fridge. And if you have pet insurance, check to see if your pet insurance policy has poison control as part of it. When you call the poison control for pets, there usually is a fee.
Okay, now that we got all our hot lines, it's time for some hot takes on a review.
Hot takes.
All right. This is for the Super 8 by Wyndham in Macon, Georgia. This is a one bone review from Santa. No, this is Santa.
Or should I say, oh.
They're not happy, so we gotta change it. This could be Krampus, I think, because it's kind of a
Krampus.
a holiday travel downer.
Yes, I love it.
Krampus called it a 4-night stay.
Okay.
So many negatives to mention. No continental breakfast. No coffee in the room. No hair dryer. Ice machine was broken. No phone in the room. I don't know why that's so funny. Most people have cell phones now, so I feel like the phone in the room's not as big of a deal. But anyway.
Yeah. Hair dryer too. That's just me.
The door peephole was broken and stuffed with tissue paper. Non-spoken.
Oh no. Oh no.
Non-smoking rooms were next to the smoking rooms, which meant it probably smelled like a barbecue pit. Refrigerator kept falling out of the hole it was in. I don't understand. What? And the bathroom door frame was broken. Again, tissue paper was placed in the hole to fill the gap. The positives was the grassy area was nice to walk your dogs.
That sounds like a terrible stay.
Yeah. 4 nights they stayed there.
I love me some continental breakfast though. So I would be very upset if I thought it had that and it turned out it didn't. Also coffee in the rooms though. I got to have coffee.
The coffee in the room has never been like that great to me.
Oh, I bring my own coffee. I just use the machines.
Oh, okay. So I went to a grooming convention with my little sister in Atlanta. We were attempting to make coffee in the rooms, but we are big on we need creamer. So we said we will just walk in Atlanta at the convention center that we were staying at to the nearest corner store to pick up some creamer or whatever. And so we happened by a policeman on a motorcycle. He can tell that we're not from there. We're just walking down the streets in Atlanta. And he's like, hey, what you guys doing? And we're like, we're on the hunt for some coffee creamer. And he's like, don't do that. Don't venture down any of these streets go to this convenience store and then back to your hotel. Let's not just on about in Atlanta, right? And we also had noticed when we were walking, we found like needles and razor blades just in the gutters and stuff.
Oh, geez, you were in a bad part of the town, weren't you?
Yeah, I guess. And so we get to the little convenience store. They looked very scary. The bananas were like a brown color, and they didn't have creamer in there. They had a vanilla frappe. So we're like, surely if we add enough vanilla frappe to a coffee, it'll count as creamer. It did not. FYI, it did not. And when we went to check out, the person in front of us like put a bunch of change on the counter. The person working put their hand out. They were like, put it in my hand. Like they made this person pick all their change up and put it in their hand. And then when they went to give their change back, they put it on the counter and was like, now you pick it up. And I was like, I am scared. I don't think we're made for Atlanta. It was, and we did not leave the hotel room again after that. That was our one and only adventure outwards.
I mean, when a police officer can pick you out as a tourist and be like, don't do that. Don't tourist around here.
No, stop.
Well, I'm glad that you guys were safe. Good grief. I have my wrap-up question. Is there anything we talked about today that you hadn't thought about before and plan to implement for your own pets this holiday season?
Actually, a lot of things. So the snow globes, never even thought to worry about a snow globe before. Unlocked a new fear for me. Thank you.
Sorry.
The tree water, also a new fear. Not that I have any trees, but it's going to be something that I think about with anybody else who has a live tree. Putting the veterinarian's number on the ID tag. So now I have to go make all new ID tag. What about you?
I didn't expect to have to do a whole lot of research for this because I'm like, I've been in the field a long time. Like, I know all this stuff. I did not know all this stuff. I did not put this list together just out of my brainula. The one thing that I was just like, I never knew this was the unbaked yeast dough. I never thought about it, never heard about it.
Once again, I do want to reiterate that we are not trying to yuck your holiday fun, right? Keep it going. We want you to enjoy your holidays. We want you to include your pets and have a good time. We want you to do it mindful of the risks and the dangers around you, right? Maybe keep the pets locked up while you're not around to watch them around things so they don't get into that tree water, knock the tree over, eating tinsel. You obviously can't be home all the time, right? You have work, you have things to do, but either put the stuff in an area that you can close off from the pets or put the pets up while you're not home. But please don't skip out on holiday fun.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is that if you are really worried about your pets and traveling or around other pets, around other people, you don't have to board them. Or if there's a person you trust to come and stay at your house and take care of your animals in their own environment. And like Nessie said, our intention is not to scare you, but we want to make sure that you are prepared. If you have any concerns, that you know what to do about them, where to go, and where to find your answers.
I have a couple more reviews before we leave, so I just want to double up on some holiday fun. These are 2 reviews for the same place called Timbers Lodge in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh,
okay.
I love Pigeon Forge.
I also do. This is a 1-bone review, and this is going to be, let's pull out a reindeer name. We could do Olive. Have you ever heard of Olive the reindeer?
No.
Olive the other reindeer. Nobody talks about her much, and I think that's because she went missing. She also sounds like the only possible female reindeer that there was, and it was kind of a boys' club, and we haven't heard from Olive since.
Maybe the flying gene is on the Y chromosome.
Maybe so. She wasn't included because she couldn't fly. So this one's Dasher, and it's called Location Was the Only Positive Thing.
Oh, no.
This first sentence about floored me.
Okay.
Missing shower curtain.
Oh, I don't like that.
Phone didn't have a cord to plug it in. The alarm clock didn't work. And the 2 lamps in the room didn't work. There was trash between the bedside table and the wall. It was still there when we checked out. It was a nice walkway by the river, though, at the back of the lodge, and the pups sure enjoyed their stay. I don't know if you're really ready to unpack this. Missing shower curtain.
Where did it go? Was there a murder in that bathroom before you came?
Yeah. Maybe that was what they buried the body into. We just turned this into a true crime podcast.
That's right. And I watch CSI sometimes, like
find the shower curtain, you find the victim.
So that's problematic on multiple levels.
This room is scary because not only is the shower curtain missing, but the phone doesn't have a cord. So where my brain is going with this is this previous person that stayed there, this victim that went missing in the shower curtain, they were planned. Like the person came and took the cord so these people couldn't call for help. And these lamps don't work, probably because these people also took the bulbs so that these people wouldn't have any light. What's the best way to kidnap somebody? In the dark. What's the best way to kill them? In the dark. You see what I'm saying? The trash between the bedside table and the wall is evidence, actually. So this is my theory.
Someone needs to go investigate this.
Dasher, you need to figure out what's really happening there. I would check the waterfront.
Yeah, I would definitely steal your holiday cheer for sure.
The other one I have is going to be from Olive.
Okay,
The other reindeer. It's also a one bone review. It's called Never Again. The same place in Pigeon Forge.
All right.
The parking was bad. The room was dark. And
another dark room. All right.
And the carpet was stained with spots of urine bigger than your head. What a weird unit of measurement. The only upside were the beds seemed relatively clean and the pets had a nice place to go potty. The theme here...
Did they stay in the same room?
Yeah, well, this happens to be the stains on the carpet are, probably not urine.
Probably not.
They are blood, actually, because this is the murder room. So
this is the murder room. The lights aren't working. I mean, what more do you need?
I don't know any urine spots that wind up bigger than my head. It's definitely a blood spot is what I'm thinking.
Yikes. Don't go to this hotel. Bigger than your head or in the shape of a head, because
that's that body chalk outline that they do, right? If you're looking for a true crime adventure on your holiday weekend, I would go and solve this one that we just made up.
That's right.
Okay. Well, that's all we have for holiday safety. You guys have a holiday.
Yeah.
I thought you could jump in with some music too, no?
I was trying, but then it's Christmas, so maybe I shouldn't say that. So maybe I should go with holiday. A holly jolly holiday. But that sounded exactly like what you just said.
I love a holiday.
So now I'm overthinking it. You want to try it again?
I don't remember what I said anymore.
You said, have a holly jolly holiday, I think.
Have a holly jolly holiday.
And in case you didn't hear, say hello to dogs you know and every pet you meet. Yay!
Yay! You can find our social media handles in the show notes and our email address, so come talk to us. We love to talk. Come to our Facebook and stuff. Like, we got things to say,
very
right?
Friendly.
We don't just post show stuff in there. We could post funny things, lots of chicken things in there. We like chickens.
We love chickens.
Enjoy our holiday-themed AI song, and we will see you guys next time. Merry holidays. Okay, bye.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Through the snowfall and pine trees, gifts stacked high and hearts that please, Nessie and Echo bring cheer, smart tips and tricks for the year. Santa's sleigh and reindeer fly, but pets need care you can't deny. From ticks and fleas to healthy treats, here's how to make their life complete. Happy holidays to our pals. May your days be joyous and carefree. See you in the new year with laughter ringing happily. Keep them warm with cozy beds, gentle strokes on furry heads. Playful hours chase away woes, through all the highs and the lows. When the snow begins to fall, we gather close one and all. Stories shared and laughter bright, Nessie and Echo light the night. Happy holidays to our pals. May your days be joyous and carefree.